Welcome to Patterns for Weaving 2. I'm going to first show you how to make a loom. If you don't need to do that because you're in class with me, we're going to skip this. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is take a piece of paper to make our loom. You are going to make a loom so we can weave our paper in and out of it. So take your paper tall and fold it hamburger style. Hold down the edges and crease that middle fold. Once you've done that, turn it so that the fold faces you and the open part is far away from you. You're going to take both of the open pieces and fold it towards you, but only about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. Kind of like you're making a little envelope with both pieces of paper. Go ahead and unfold it a little bit. That's where we're going to stop when we do our cutting. The next thing we need to do is we need to cut strips from the first fold up to the double fold up top. So find the middle and make a little mark. Then what we need to do on both sides is divide it by 3. So I'm going to put my fingers kind of where I think it looks like it's evenly spaced. Think about cutting each side into 3 even pieces. But you should have an odd number of evenly spaced marks. So have a favorite adult help you with this. Like that. So I have 5 lines, and I'm going to cut each line to that double fold. So I'm going to cut on my folded edge and cut up to the opening, but not go past my secondary fold I did. Go up, stop at that secondary fold, go up, stop at that secondary fold, and it does not have to be perfect. So once again, we're making a loom, and what we just cut, the strips we cut, are called the warp. The warp are the up and down pieces of our loom that we will weave things through. So you can see that you'll take your papers and do this, but we will go slowly in a second and I'll show you how to weave your patterns through the loom. All right, today we're going to be doing some weaving. And I'm gonna have some vocabulary words over here that I'll point at when I talk about it. But we're going to be using our loom. This is our loom. It is what we're going to put our weaving on. You want to be careful with it so that way you don't rip it. And I want you to have your loom so that way it's pointed up. So you have a little kind of mountain on the side. The fold should be pointed upwards, so there's a little space under it. And we're going to be weaving our patterns into it. You also need scissors and glue. So the first thing I want you to do is on your loom, you're going to write your name. So let's write your name at the top on the actual back. So flip over so it's like open like a book. The fold is down. You're going to write your name and maybe your teacher's letter. So fold face down, write your name, flip it back over so it's popped up again. That's the front. You're going to carefully cut your first pattern strip. So on that dotted line that I drew, you're going to cut it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to weave this piece into our loom, and it's going to be a pattern. So our loom is this red thing, I'll say that a lot. It has things called the warp. That's these pieces that go up and down. The weft, which are our pattern pieces, are what we're going to weave in and out of the warp. So I want you to take your pattern piece and put it on top of the first section, like that. Then I want you to carefully lift this middle or this next section. So you're going to lift it up. So I like to push down the other ones to lift it up with a finger. And you're going to snake this under this one only. So the pattern is it should go over, under. This is going over. If it's an A-B pattern, over, under, over, what do you think it's going to do on my next warp? It's going to go under. So push down, other ones, and pull this one up, and you're going to scoot it through. Now it's over, under, over, under. It needs to go over this one. Make sure you don't skip these warps, these pieces of red paper. Over, under, over, under, over. What do you think the last one's going to be? Under. Good. And I want you to pull it until this edge matches up. All right, so if you weaved it and it's kind of down like this, the next thing we're going to do is scoochy it to the top. So I want you with your fingers, don't pull it side to side, but scoot it so that way it goes to the top of our loom, like that. Each weft that we do, we're going to scoot it to meet the other one. To secure this weft, we're going to take this side, take our glue stick, put a little bit of glue under it, and glue it down. But only do that once you've scooted it up. When you're ready, I want you to cut the next strip. I might be helping some people do their weaving, but make sure it's scoochied up. You glue it on the corner that you can see, and then you can cut the next one. Don't weave yet, because we're going to do something different with this one. So cut it out, but leave it there so that way I can show you how we're going to do this one differently. All right, so for our second row, it needs to be opposite than this row. So if it went over on this warp, it needs to go, or sorry, it went under on this warp, this second piece needs to go over here. It will kind of look like a checkerboard. So let's start from the left side this time. Put it on top. You're gonna push down the other pieces and pick up the second one. Over, under. We're still following that pattern though, but it's going to be opposite than this one. Over, under is the rule. Over. And see how it's opposite, so there's diagonals. Over, under, over, under. Whoops, what did I do wrong? I skipped one. So if they're next to each other, they shouldn't be the same. So these are two under. So let's scoochy it back. Over, under, over, under. It has to go over this one. There it is. Over and then under the last one. See how it's like a checkerboard? That these strips are showing on the opposite warps. All right. Once you get it woven through, make sure you scooch it up. Scooch, scooch, scooch until it touches that one and their corners touch. So see how these corners are touching? And this edge is nice and even. If it's scoochied up like this, the corners are touching and it's nice and even, the top one on this side will glue down. A little bit of glue, rub it down. You can cut out your next one and then we'll wait for friends to catch up. If I'm helping and you have extra patterns that you didn't complete, you can do some extra patterns, but please do not go forward or farther than me with the weaving. All right, so the pattern is over, under, over, under. Each row has to be kind of offset or different or diagonal from the row right above it. So this row started over on this side. This row started over on this side. To make it opposite, this one will start over again on this side. So every other row will be the same start. So we start over here, over, lift up the warp, under, over, just like that one, under, opposite of this one, over, under, pull it all the way through so it is even, scoochy scoochy it up so that the corners touch of the row above it. And glue down the corner. You can keep going if you got the hang of it. I'm going to keep talking, but make sure that before you glue down, that your row looks like a checkerboard with the other rows. You start, the best way to start on one side, then the next row start on the other. Then switch back to this side, which means this one, I'm going to start on this side again with my over. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Does it look like a checkerboard? Scoochy scoochies. Touching the corners, nice and flat. Now all of these will not fit. Probably two won't fit, so maybe choose your last two favorite, or choose two that you want to exclude. So one of these two. Yeah. Okay. That one start on this side. This one will start on top on this side. The rule is over, under, over. Kind of holding it and popping it up with my finger from the back side. Over, under, over, finish under, scooch, 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 make a checkerboard like that. think I have room for one more, maybe. Okay. Oh, sorry. Over. Under. Ooh, this one's really kind of tight. Over. Under. Over. Under. Pull it even. And whoop. Scoochy, scoochy. There you go. If you want to, on the back you have a few that are loose. You can do the same thing where we glue the edges. Boop. So if you flip it over, go to the outside ones, flip them up like a door, put them back down. Flip it up like a trap door, put it back down. Flip it up like a trap door, put it back down. If you really, really like these and you really wanted to keep them, you could maybe glue them to the end as like fringe. Actually, that's an awesome idea. I might do that. I might glue it to the end, like halfway on the end. So there's still some space here. And then fringe I can make by just doing little cuts in it. Like, not all the way. Like a little carpet. So that fringe. Not cutting through all the way, just a little bit. Making a little like Valentine's Day carpet. All right. If you have time and you want to, you can decorate the red spaces too. Maybe think of like extra designs you can put and repeat and make kind of simple patterns. I might just do hearts. Ooh, that's too light. Maybe I'll do purple. Oops, I missed one. All right, and there's my super patterned weaving. Ooh, I could probably write that word. Where I used my red loom, and the red was the warp, the up and down pieces, and my weft were my patterns.